Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and I am fussing over my signatures today a little bit. I pulled out some thinner paper that I had done some coffee dyeing on. These I did the other day. I used the spray coffee where you take like 3 heaping teaspoons of instant coffee in a water bottle with hot water and shake it up. And then you put it in a little sprayer. Let me show it to you. Okay, so it's this spray bottle that I got at Dollar Tree because it's a fine mist, so it doesn't get underneath your stencil. And this is what I mix my coffee in. So I'm going to fill it up. Because these little sprayers work better if they're full. When you get to the bottom, you have to turn the paper sideways because it only wants to spray straight ahead. You can't tilt it. So what I did on these, I took some thinner paper, just regular copy paper, and took one of my templates, and I just let it be on part of it because I wanted this to be the page where people can journal. And see if I can get this to. So just lightly, so that there's a lot of sort of white space, and it does bleed through, so you get it on both sides. And let me stack these up so I don't get a sharp edge. And I'll just do some here real quick. But you can kind of sit here. I should do this over on the other side of my table with a plastic tablecloth, but oh well. So I'll just kind of do that softly. So there's just a little bit of something on the page, so it's not white. And then I'll let those dry. And so I think I'll put those, I'm going to put at least one of those in each signature probably for writing on. So I'm going to let those dry and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So they dried, and I took these scissors I got at Hobby Lobby a long time ago. I got a whole like plastic round container full of these scissors that cut different patterns. So I just cut the edges on a couple of them just to make them different. And I think I decided to take that one out. And so I think I'm ready to bind these. So I'm going to go ahead and I might as well start with this one. I've got 5 signatures, and it always makes me nervous because I'm afraid I'm gonna get something in the wrong order. But on this journal, because there's really nothing, not really part of the story except for one, I think this has writing about where Esther asked them to fast for her. So that will need to be, hopefully go in the right place when the time comes. So I'm going to go ahead and bind these, and I will just, I'll do one real quick for anybody who's never done one before. I've done this a lot of times, so you can fast forward through if you've seen it. And I'm just going to bind one real quick here. So I'm going to take a piece of foam that I use. It's just a piece of packaging that I got. I've got a bookbinding kit that I got on Amazon. And so it's basically all you need is wax, linen thread, and a big darning needle, and an awl, A-W-L. And I don't make a lot of fuss about binding signatures, as you guys know if you've seen me. I will use clips because this is an important journal for me. I punch 3 holes. I eyeball it, and I punch one in the center and one at the top about a ½ an inch or an inch down, and then same at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and clip this. And when you clip it, you want to have it almost closed so that everything is pushed down and the pages are as close as they can be together at the bottom. And then I'm going to get a needle out. I usually use the smallest one that I can find of the darning needles. This kit, which I think this kit was $6 or $8 on Amazon. If you just look at bookbinding kits, there's a smaller one. It will come up. I'll use the bigger one. It will come up, and they have different groupings, but mine came with, like, I think one spool of wax thread, and it actually came with a couple of bone folders and a package of needles. The little plastic pouch was one that I already had. It didn't come in that. And so then you cut your thread 2.5 times the length of the height of your signature. And then you get yourself a little bit of a tail here, and you decide where you want your tails to be when you're done. If you want them back here where they don't show, you start from the outside. If you want them to be something in the middle where you can tie charms or something, you would start on the inside. I'm not sure, so I'm going to start from the inside on this one and go down and back up in the top hole. Oh, come on now. Pull it through, and I'm going to leave myself that much of a tail. And then this is the only tricky part. Hold the tail down. You're going to go back through that hole, and you don't want to snag it with the needle. So pull it tight down. Run your needle back through the hole. Pull it through. You're just making a figure 8. Stick your needle back in the top hole or bottom hole, whichever, the other end that you haven't done yet. Let it find its way through. And you've made a figure 8. Now, you want to pull it. I'm going to take the needle out. I'm going to pull it tight. No slap. And then you just tie a double knot. You pull it so that the knot is in the center. Tie a double knot and you're done. And I'm not going to trim these right now because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. I mean, you can always just tie a little bow. Leave it like that. I think that looks nice. So for now, that's what I'll do. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these signatures, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming back to say that I have some fabric that I've cut out in the size of pages, and I'm going to add one to this journal. This one has like ribbon flowers sewn onto it, and so I'm going to use that on one of these signatures. And I'm also going to use the envelope from the kit, and I'm going to stitch it into the signature in the center. So if I can get this evenly distributed. I want it right in the center, of course. Okay, so there's that, and then in the middle of this signature, I'm going to put this envelope. And only 2 holes it's only big enough to be where 2 holes are. And so that's okay. That's enough to hold it. And I've already punched my hole, so I'm trying to find where I put it. I'm gonna punch that hole in there. And then line it up with this hole. And a little more difficult with this cloth because it's floppy. I'm going to fold it over there and clip this. And then fold this over here, hopefully, and flip it on this side. And now I need to find this hole. And it looks like that would be where it goes. Yeah. And this needs to be pushed down. Okay. So you just want to make sure everything is pushed down in the center as far as it can go. Okay. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and bind that. Kind of feel like I'm doing a tightrope act here. Okay, without a net. I shall bind this signature without a net. Okay. I just kind of thought that envelope is a nice focal point, and that center page really didn't have anything. I mean, it's a pretty page, but you know, nothing to really. Oh, you know what? And I want to take it up from the back on this. Oh dear. Maybe I don't. It's too hard to find. All right. I'm going to take it from here. Work it through this fabric. And I do see the hole back here. We'll see if I can get it to line up with the pages. Oh, wow, it did. Okay, except for the envelope, so I'm going to hook it onto the, there. So there's that. Okay, so let's see if we can get this thing to cooperate. So I'm going to pull it with, leave a little bit of a tail here. Pull it kind of tight so I can get up here in the top without snagging it. Pull it through. I kind of see this one. Huh. Well, you know what? No, I don't, because I didn't punch one, so that's funny. Okay. Or did I? Maybe I didn't. Let me see. No, I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to punch it right here. I'm sorry if I couldn't get that in frame. I'm trying to manhandle this thing and make it behave. Sorry. Okay, so I think I got that thing all stitched up. Pull everything tight. Pull it to the center and tie a double knot. Okay. Let's see what it looks like when I'm done here. I'm going to tie this in a little bow. Cut this off. Unclip it. Okay, so this signature's got this fabric, and it also has. Did I do this upside down? I guess it doesn't have a top or bottom. Okay, thank God. It does not. Okay, so there's that. This is a bottom because there's a flower at the top, so that matters. And this has a flower that goes up, so that's directional. And this is sideways, so it didn't really matter. And there's the envelope, so you can put things inside of it. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue on binding the rest of these, and I'll be right back. All right. So here are the 5 signatures sewn up. and they're ready for the binding. But now I'm going to go through and add the pockets and add the edges and so on and so forth. And one thing I am going to do, I've got a gold pen. It is a Signo Uniball. And this one page is bugging me. Where did it go? This one. And I did put some gold Bow Bunny paste on it, but I'm going to take this gold pen and I'm just going to start doodling. And I'm just going to start to kind of fill this white area in just a little bit. So all I'm doing are swirls. It's not hard. Let's see. This pen works really well, actually. I hadn't used it before too much, just here and there. Anytime you do a pattern, it's a good idea to run it off the edge a little bit. So I'm going to just kind of create a couple of imaginary places where it ran off. Over here. And go down here a little bit. Kind of work around that gold paste because it's raised, so I can't really go over it. Okay, so that just kind of fills it in, a little sparkle, and it's not just that glaring white. And on the other side, doesn't bother me as bad. I'll probably end up putting a pocket down here, so I could even do something over this decoupage because it's sort of, I don't know, I feel like it needs something too. So I'm going to do the same thing over this orange. And it'll just add a little bit of a gleam. And of course the other thing you can do to fill in with are dots. So let me finish these swirls and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. If you do a little bit of practice on this, don't be afraid to do it. You kind of get the hang of it, just like any other doodling thing. If you did it in high school on your notebook, you know, you got pretty good at some of those things. The dots, you just fill in like any areas that you can just do little dots here and there. And I like to do either 1 or 3 usually, if I can. So that 3 is better on that odd number that we've talked about on various things. Okay, so like back here where it shows more, I might want to do a big dot, medium dot, small dot. Big dot, medium dot, small dot. And you can make it curve. So let's see, here's a place. Big dot, medium dot, small dot. red dot. It's kind of running into that. I feel like this needs some right here. Okay, and even here. I'm gonna do one more from over here. I could go on down in here, but I think I'll stop on this one. Since I had so much white area, I won't go into the orange. So that makes me feel better about that page. So then the next thing is I'm going to take fabric and different things and sew along the edges. But that's what I'm going to try to do. And I'm also going to try to use some of this trim and just add it in, glue it in where I can. So I think the next thing I need to do is put the pockets in. And so that will be on the next video. I'm going to take my triangles that I have for pockets and I'm going to ink the edges of them so they'll be ready for the next video. If you enjoyed this video, click like, hit subscribe. That would be awesome. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.